Hello there. It is I, Crypto Diaries and Virtual Nexus. We're here with our part 3 of blockchain fundamentals. We talked about yesterday. Before we continue, I'd like to talk to you about how cryptocurrency and blockchain investments are extremely speculative and risky, and they fall outside much of current regulatory frameworks, and they're risky for novice, experienced, and inexperienced investors. Because of its novel nature, cryptocurrency market is fraught with fraud, scams, and schemes. Don't risk anything you cannot stand to lose. I just like saying fraud, scams, and schemes because it makes me laugh because those guys are dirtbags. You got to watch out. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's unintentional. You got to be careful. Don't risk anything you can't stand to lose. Crypto Diaries and Virtual Nexus are for educational purposes only. We never recommend the purchase, sale, nor trading of any specific asset or issue. However, we do offer information to enable our audience to learn how to manage their own risk and potentially capitalize on mispricing in the cryptocurrency and blockchain market. Okay, yesterday we discussed public key cryptography and we did a blockchain demo. So the blockchain demo we did is we talked about how a blockchain is seeded. Here's the seed block, right? Okay, and those coins got handed to Mr. Satoshi here. And then he built a couple more blocks and sent some money to a peer. Here's his peer, Hannah, right there. Okay, so he sent the money. You'll see it's unspent transaction outputs, right? And then because she was running another node, she ran a bunch of blocks. Let's click here. Come on, buddy. Come on, Hannah. Oh, that's him. Sorry. He had 184. I apologize. You see how the blockchains were synced up. That's the important part of the story, right? He has the root blockchain here, and he mined and got 100 coins right here, the seed block, and then sent some over to her, right? And then she basically, then he mined some more, right? And that's when he sent them to her. And then she mined some, right? And sent it to him. And the longest chain won. What does this mean? So the thing I realized yesterday, I talked to a buddy of mine, and he's a computer. It was a young kid I'm mentoring. His name is Cade. And I was showing him the video, and he got a little bit lost. And this is like a second-year cybersecurity guy, associate. He's an associate, and he's bright, and he literally was writing encryption about hashes, and I realized he didn't understand it. So here's what I'm going to tell you today. The blockchain is like a bank. What? That's right. It's a series of banks that are all over the world. A node is a bank. The node mines the first block, and that creates this money. But the money only exists in the first block, which is like a safety deposit box. And the person that owns that bank has a private key to unlock that box. It's locked with the public key, and they unlock it with the private key. That unlock allows them to get access to those tokens. Those tokens never leave the bank, though. They can sign them with the public key of another safety deposit box, and the bank moves them into that box. Is that really what's happening? Not exactly. I mean, in that next block, it shows the assignment of them to that new safety deposit box, and then that person, if they wants to move those tokens or spend them, they use their private key and send it to someone else. That's the blockchain. The blockchain only grows in size as more blocks are mined or more people use it. This is the difference between traditional money, where they basically just create it out of thin air. And how does that happen? That means the Fed buys some assets. Like right now they're buying banks' mortgages and stuff, and that sends dollars out into the world. How do they do it? They add zeros on the bank's balance sheet. Where'd they come from? Nowhere. That's the difference. And we have runaway inflation because that's what they're doing. These banks made bad loans. The houses got foreclosed on. Houses go down in value. Banks basically can't pay money to their depositors. So the Fed gives them more zeros in the bank. They hand out those zeros to customers. They're not really there. Okay? So that's that. All right? I hope that helps. Today, though, we're going to talk about Ethereum. Okay? We didn't really talk about consensus and Byzantine fault tolerance. What this means is the Byzantine generals' problem. They're trying to, attack a city or Byzantium, and the issue is they have no secure communications channel to know when the attack's going to occur. If a bunch of people defect, their attack will fail. So they have to know that everyone agrees independently, and that is the blockchain. Each of them is a node. They all write their commitment to the blockchain all at once. Everyone completes all the same math, right? And that's what tells them. right? And that's proof of work. It was them solving that math problem right here. Remember the hash? They get these leading zeros right there. Let me make that a little bigger. That was the math problem they're using. And that's where the ASICs and miners come in, those specialized chips, because they have to solve this complicated math problem. And by how many leading zeros they are, the protocol knows roughly how long that's going to take based on probability, how long it takes that math. And that probability determines how long, like it comes longer. The faster the machines get, the more difficult the hash has to become. The more nodes there are, the faster, the harder the hash has to become. The reason being is it takes time for consensus for all the blockchain nodes, all those banks, to compute the transactions that occurred to make sure it's valid. And you don't want it to get one chain to get too far ahead of another. The longest chain is the canonical or the actual chain. And you'll remember, like if I mine a block right now, so let's mine a block. I'm going to send some money to Hannah. No, this is Hannah right now. Satoshi's going to send some money. He's going to send Hannah some money. Okay, let's actually add a new peer. We're going to add a new peer. We got Luke. He's going to send Luke some money. So Luke's right there. Luke's hard up. He's going to throw him 50. He's going to pay 1, but he can raise the transaction fee to make it go faster, right? And then his input is he's going to pull it from the $100 from mining, right? Okay, but in reality, I don't know, I got some call from Gambia. Yeah, I don't even know where that is. That's not getting answered. It's probably from my certification from, that's a long story. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so he's going to send $100 from mining, but in reality, we're going to have Luke. He's going to follow the transaction. The recipient, he doesn't have any money, so he can't send a transaction. So let me, Satoshi has to submit the transaction to the banks. That's right. So he's going to submit this. He's going to use the funds he got from mining. That's where he's getting it from. And then he's going to submit it. And then now it's available. Okay, that's the transaction. Okay, there it is. But Luke is going to mine it at his bank. So he's going to mine a new block. Let's see, there's his original block. He's got 100 there in the hash. Let's see if he can send Satoshi some money. He's going to send Satoshi the 50 back that he got. And then he's going to pay more because he's a nice guy. And then he's going to use his $100. He's going to pay it to Satoshi. Now there's some transactions here from Luke to Satoshi. All right, let's see if Satoshi can see that transaction in there. He's got the Satoshi to Luke. So he mines that new block. He gets some rewards. See what Luke can do. Luke sends it to Satoshi, mines his block. Okay, and then you see these blocks down here. Okay. So now we have to sync. So we're gonna sync these. Let's see what's happening. He's connected there, and he's asking Hannah for the block. Hannah sends the block. Hannah's blockchain's longer. He's gonna replace his new blockchain, and he's gonna broadcast any transactions. So let's see what happens. He has these blocks in here. He's got all the other ones added to it, and it looks like he's good. So now he's going to connect to Satoshi. Satoshi's block is not longer, so he does nothing. And now Hannah is going to connect to here. And Luke's block is not longer, so they do nothing. And they should all be in sync now. That's the point. They're all in sync now. Okay? All right. That's the blockchain. All right. That's the bank. Now, we spent quite a bit of time on here, I know, but I watched that video. I wanted you really to understand this. So hopefully that will help. Put the questions in your comments. We'll probably call this, instead of part 2, we'll probably call it like 2A or 2-1, because what we're doing is demonstrating, again, this blockchain and how money goes back and forth. Listen, I love you all and God bless you, and I hope you are having a great day, night, afternoon, neutral time, wherever you are. Take care.